Coming up here at Circle Debate Podcast, episode 52, as we're going to go ahead and discuss, giving our thoughts about this past weekend IMPACT Rebellion. And of course, we're going to give our thoughts about the new belt collector, the Thanos of professional wrestling. I guess that's what they call him. And also, we're going to go ahead and give our recapping this past week, AEW Dynamite, Pro Wrestling News, and NXT, of course. It's going to be a two-part episode for episode 52. So don't go anywhere as Circle Debate Podcast episode 52 starts right now. Welcome, everyone, to the Circle of Debate Podcast, episode 52, 52. Wow, 52 episodes in, ladies and gentlemen. It's the host of Devious One, Ivan C, here with my family, La Familia. West Side, D-Generation West Side. Of course, here with, he's the calluses of all calluses. And I know he was so busy last week, he couldn't join us on the top five because he was getting everything ready for that previous pay-per-view that happened. And by God, he is so happy. So
by God,
he is so happy. And that's right. That is Mr. MGC Matthew Don Calles, Singer Calles Steamboat. And also, I was waiting for you to say something like next level consciousness, right?
I'm saving that.
Oh, he's saving it. He's saving
totally
it.
saving that.
He is saving that for sure. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, this man needs an introduction because he is, by God, the god of podcasting, ladies and gentlemen, here on Circle Debate. And that is because he is a multi-time recording artist, a graduate from Cal State Dominguez Hills. He's also the 2018 World Karaoke Champion of Los Angeles. He also lives 1,977,000 miles from Winnipeg, Minnesota, Canada. He is the master disaster, the king of sting, the man with the plan, Money Mike Lopez.
If you start seeing people disappear, it's because Kenny Omega has gotten all the belts. Yes. All hail our master, Kenny Omega, collector of titles.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go jump into that before we even recap with Dynamite. Let's jump out with giving our thoughts about this past weekend IMPACT Rebellion, ladies and gentlemen. So we have two new debuts that showed up at Rebellion. Three new crowns world champions as well. We got a new X Division champion. We have a newly crowned Knockouts Women's Tag Team champion. And of course, a newly crowned IMPACT and TNA World Heavyweight champion. So let me go ahead and go with the Money Mike. What were your thoughts overall about the pay-per-view? And what would you rate it?
Nobody can say now that IMPACT cannot deliver on pay-per-view. They did just that. They gave us a show from start to finish, really, that delivered on all accounts. Great matches, great stories, plots opened. Questions, right? More questions than answers right now. And that's what you want in a wrestling promotion right now. And honestly, I feel I haven't been as excited for IMPACT in a long, long time. And whatever is happening with this whole AEW, connection, right? It's working because now I'm finding myself looking forward to the storylines in IMPACT as well, because that bridge or forbidden door has been opened, and now I can see on the other side things that interest me as well.
Absolutely. Mr. Don Calles, you're the one that organizes this event, especially with the main event. So what were your thoughts about the pay-per-view overall?
Now that Kenny has become the belt collector, now I have fully become I have completed my evolution, my genesis, my when you come out of the cocoon, now I am fully Don Callis. And like I said, we're gonna take, and we're gonna take, and we're gonna take, and we're gonna take some more. And that's what we're capable of. We don't make wrestling, we make history. You see.
It's like the voice was metamorphosizing to more and more to Don Callis as he went along.
Well, the metamorphosis is complete. You know, like when these glasses came in, like I could, his memories and personality have absorbed into my body. You know, just purely. Now I'm completely Matt Callis.
I could definitely tell that.
You know what? When somebody becomes the belt, as long as Kenny is the belt collector, I will be Matt Callis. You know, and there's still 3 more major titles Kenny still has to go for, and that's Roosh with the Ring of Honor title, that's Nick Aldis with the NWA Heavyweight title, and then of course you got Will Ospreay with the IWGP World Heavyweight title, and then you've got Keiji Muto. This is the match I most want. Keiji Muto with the GHC Pro Wrestling Noah title. And if you listen to one of my interviews, I compared young Kenny Omega, 12-year-old Kenny Omega, to Keiji Muto. Just the way they move, you know, he's that good. And I saw it in his eyes from when he was an 11-year-old kid. It's been a plan 23 years in the making. 23 years.
Now hold on a second, Mr. Matt. I couldn't keep my straight face. Now hold on a second, Mr. Matt. What about the 24/7 championship? Is he going to go after R-Truth as well? That part of the master plan.
I think he might be one of the first people to do the one pinky pin. So you got the finger poke of doom. We're gonna have the pinky poke of doom. Oh. So devastating. And maybe you'll combine that with the DDT Super Heavy Metalweight Championship, which has the same rules as the 24/7 Championship. It's basically the same belt. But yes, of course, Rich Swann, he had a great match. You know, they worked their magic, but in the end, you know, I thought it would be it's shame on me for having any type of doubt for the god of professional wrestling, Kenny Omega.
It just to give our audio platform listeners who are listening, Matt Callis is now officially Matt Callis as he transitioned by wearing the glasses that he finally been looking for, and he finally got them. And those are the exact same glasses of what Don Callis uses.
Don Callis's actual glasses. Tune into the YouTube video if you want to see what they really look like.
While you're there, just subscribe,
leave a comment, and be part of Next Level Consciousness. Oof. You know, you could see, you know, it's like these glasses make your voice a few tones lower and change the way you talk completely. Absorbed into your body. Ha ha ha. One-winged angel. One-winged angel. One-winged angel.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Callis has transitioned completely, full transition, and man, by God, he's getting ready. But
smoking a dart in Winnipeg, Canada.
I have to give it to you though, yes. And Mike, you're absolutely right. Impact did deliver from the start to the finish. All the matches in the card was incredible. They were not disappointing at all. They were all great, and especially seeing. I was really happy for Josh Alexander becoming the X Division champion. I was happy. That was a great opening match. The triple threat.
The North.
Awesome. The North. I love it. I'm happy for Josh. And congratulations to you becoming an X Division champion. And also wanted to congratulate Big Cass, now known as W. Morrissey, making his debut on Impact as well. Congratulations to him. You could tell that he was happy when he saw a smirk on his face when he showed up in the entrance. He was happy to be back on television, and I'm really happy for him too. I'm glad he got his life around together, and now he's sober and he's doing, he's getting his life back together. So kudos to you for
It's been a great month for Canada.
Absolutely. And then also want to give another shout out to Rachel Elling making her debut and winning the Knockouts Tag Team Champions along with Jordan Grace. Rachel Elling, who's been out, not wrestling for almost a year because of her MCL injury, now returned back to the ring, and she looked great. And I'm glad that she has an opening spot on Impact Wrestling. I'm glad. So all we're waiting for is now Chelsea to show up. have a little trios between her, Deonna Purrazzo, and and Rachel. And there you go. That was supposed to be your NXT group, but then it happened. Then that's another story to talk about. But yes, absolutely. The other thing that I was happy to hear is that voice of Mauro Ranallo. I was so happy to hear him.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia. And now he said it like one-winged angel. Like he pulled it off.
Who else would be better? He was all part of the plan as well. Who better from New Japan? You got me from New Japan. You got Mauro Ranallo from New Japan.
And I have to give it to him too. It was a great combo between him, D'Lo, and Matt Striker.
Yes, it was
incredibly great.
It's the missing ingredient.
Yes, exactly. And I hope this kind of relives, gives that just gives it that hope for Ranallo to open his heart and say, you know what, I'll go with Impact only on pay-per-views. That's what I would do if I was Ranallo, too. Only on pay-per-view matches for Impact. Why not? Do that. I wish he could have a second opportunity, change his mind. I know that, this is no joke at all. This is serious that I know he has the bipolarism, which definitely we take serious. But I'm hoping that he has a second thoughts, wants to come back and announce professional wrestling. I mean,
honestly, his voice was awesome, and I don't say that often because I've been hearing Michael Cole for the past 20 years. But Mauro, awesome commentator, top notch. I hope that giving him another place to do commentary in professional wrestling outside of WWE right now, because we all know how WWE is. Sitting next to an a-hole like JBL can really sour you. I can only imagine. So going to Impact and doing that one match, I hope that reinvigorates his desire to partake in commentating for pro wrestling. So hopefully,
absolutely.
I'd like to share. I'm not the I don't know how you guys feel about Corey Graves, but I'm not really his biggest fan. And there was a whole bullying thing going on between Mauro and Corey. Wasn't that kind of one of the reasons?
That's another reason, but that was for SmackDown though. That was when he was in the main roster. Then when he went to NXT, was a whole different story because I believe his mother passed away and he had to leave, and he made a decision to just step back. It was hard for him to be there on a weekly basis. And it was difficult for him. I know Paul Levesque gave him that opportunity. Look, take time off. If you want to do this part-time, go ahead, And I'm pretty sure they give him that option. But I'm pretty sure Mauro's like, I need time to refocus on myself and make sure that, I'm fighting this disease, this bipolarism. And it's very understanding for him to take time off.
I'll say all my favorite commentators are now outside of WWE. And now I kind of want to see Mauro Ranallo on this team. This is my new dream team. Since, Mike Tenay, he's super old now. I love him. I absolutely love him as a commentator. But I think this would be the most awesome team. Don Callis, Don West, and Mauro Ranallo.
I should know. Mauro Ranallo, Excalibur, that's like for sure. Excalibur,
that's a good combination.
Yes. Hell yeah, and Matt Striker. I would add Matt Striker to that too. That will be an epic trios commentating because I love Matt Striker too. I love his commentating.
Yeah, I agree.
Who would you go for, Mike?
I don't understand why people give Striker crap. I don't get it. I've seen in comment boards or whatever that people talk crap about him. But honestly, Striker, he gives insight to what's going on. And,
absolutely.
He goes above and beyond the information given.
Very technical.
So,
I love that.
I like that.
He's like a younger Mike Tenay, kind of. If I'm not mistaken, he's younger than Mike Tenay because Mike Tenay is he's almost like in his late 70s almost or 80s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mike Tenay is definitely an older gentleman. But yeah, who are your guys, Mike?
Let's see. So definitely Mauro, Excalibur, and Paul White. No, I'm just kidding.
He's still new.
Okay, I'll go ahead and say. I'm just gonna say it. Jerry the King Lawler.
Ooh,
Attitude Era.
He's legend.
Yeah. Just all the hilarious quips that he comes up with.
Let's talk to Mr. Star himself and see if we could convince Jerry. You know, we might be able. We've got a mutual friend with Jerry the King Lawler now. Can you believe that, Mike?
There you go.
Let's see if we could reach him. Let's go to Nashville and Memphis, wrestling from Memphis. Shout out to you guys. Let's see. I'll buy him lunch. I'll buy him a bottle of bourbon.
Oh, wow. And also don't forget to check out our match of the week, ladies and gentlemen, as the director. He's not here today because nothing bad, which is he had to take care of stuff. But yes, he did his match of the week and he chose Championship from Wrestling from Memphis, episode 9, which featured the main event, Boston Lane and Van Vicious. So make sure you watch that, comment below.
Now, hold on a second. Now, you mentioned the match of the week, which last week I picked the match of the week, and I was challenged by a certain wrestling guy. And where are you, wrestling guy? Oh, you think you're big because you're hanging out with the Good Brothers tonight? You're not getting away that easily, sir. Challenge opens right here. Circle of debate. Whenever you're ready, let's do it.
Well, I like to see that. David is calling you out, so I know you're watching this. Or are you listening?
The gauntlet is thrown down. The gauntlet is here.
That's right. I cannot wait. All right, gentlemen, let's jump into AEW Dynamite. We gotta go ahead and give our recap, our thoughts about it. Let's start with the opening match, which was a shocker to everyone. But at the end, it makes sense. So jump right on it. Brian Cage defeating Adam Hangman Page. Nobody expected this. Yes, I'm with you with that, Mike. But nobody expected it. The number 1 ranking in the singles division who could actually compete against Kenny Omega. By God, Kenny Omega. Excuse me.
By God.
Yeah, before I get yelled at by Matt Callis. But yes. What a match, though. Very impressive on both sides. The psychology was great. Did not expect him to win. I mean, did not expect Brian Cage to win at all. And now it seems this is the biggest upset for Cage in his career in AEW. That's what I mean, in AEW. So this is the greatest, win for him. We will have to see what will happen. Will it be a trilogy? Will it be only just another rematch, 1-1? Where do you think they go from here, Mr. Matt Callis? Where is this going to go between this upset that Brian Cage defeated Adam Hangman Page?
I said last week that I've been wanting to see both Kenny and Hangman against the bigger guys. I definitely think this match delivered, but I still wanted more. But if there's any other match, you could also think spot-wise, psychology-wise, body language-wise that this is similar to in AEW is, I'd say, the first match of Cody versus Brodie Lee, just because of, the size similarities and kind of like how the smaller guy has to sell for the bigger guy. Mm-hmm. And Cody, despite all the push and the pull in his company and all the build-up and all the stardom, at the end of the day, Brodie Lee is still the bigger guy. At the end of the day, Brian Cage is still the bigger guy in terms of size and muscle. Mm-hmm. I would like to see Hangman get a little bit more, would have gotten some more offense on him. But it's just that Brian Cage was that prepared and he's that good, former Impact champion. Of course, he's new in AEW, but he definitely deserves that push. And, And I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch right away. I just don't want him to lose that title defense. Him being able to challenge Kenny or Darby. Well, not Darby again, because we've already seen that. To challenge Kenny again, or maybe Lance or any of the other big guys, either against the big guys or against other big guys or against Kenny. Because I like that difference. Because Hangman is a power guy. He has power moves.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see how that looked up against Brian Cage, and it was pretty cool. But I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch sooner.
Definitely. Money Mike, do you agree with him?
I am of the thought that let's keep these two away from each other. So the reason being is because it served its purpose. That the road to Hangman getting the title shot right now is put on hold. Let's hold off on that. There's stories going on. I'm guessing, it's pretty obvious, right, that there's going to be another Moxley match with Omega. I feel like that's the road that they're going on. And I wouldn't want Hangman to be an afterthought in that, or a third wheel in that picture. So let's hold off on it. Let's give Brian Cage a win. Meanwhile, Hangman still remains top two, either number one or number two. He's not falling to number 8 here, folks. Brian Cage is a formidable opponent and very much deserving of that win. So I'm totally fine with that happening. In fact, actually, I'm glad that it happened because that elevates Brian much more, right? A lot of people, myself included, thought that Brian Cage was going to lose.
Yeah.
But when that 3 count happened, I was pleasantly surprised.
That was his finisher too, wasn't it?
Yes, that was his finisher. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he's a powerful guy, and I want him to at least go the distance with Kenny. I want his title shot with Kenny to at least go to a time limit draw, just to show like how great and powerful and because Brian Cage, he's a talented guy. He's not just a big muscle power guy. He's got the flying moves. He's got the lucha libre moves in AAA and lucha underground. He's got an arsenal, and I want to see that full arsenal with Kenny. And then in the future, after he either wins or loses against Kenny, he could have that rematch with Hangman much later on down the line. And then, then we could get the Kenny Hangman later on down the line as well. So, but sooner than later, because I don't want Kenny to drop the title to Moxley. It's it's both too soon for it. And, it's not that interesting. I don't want,
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that happening, a rematch, but I mean, we'll get into that later on in the segment. But in regards to this match, for it to be a rematch, I think they should wait on that. I don't think they should do it now. I'm with you, Mike. Think this should step back for Adam Page and figure something out with him. I don't know, like this storyline itself is so mixed because you have Dark Order, Team Taz, then you have Christian, then you have Hangman. It's like he's like 4 different stories in one. You're trying to figure out which one they're gonna go with. And this is the one thing about AEW they've been doing. They've been always mixing 4 different plots in one, and you're trying to get an understanding of which one they're gonna go with. And it's like they're playing by ear. They're pretty much going with it and testing it and see how it looks in the viewership and how it looks with the audience, the demographics. So it makes sense why they do these type of scenarios for it and all at once. So it makes kind of sense to see which one they're gonna move forward with. So with this one, I would not go ahead and do a rematch yet. Save that for later. Have Hangman to get back on the rankings, fighting other matches. Have Cage increasing in the rankings because it's a big win. They should put him up in that at least top 10 in the rankings or in the top 5, at least to get him up there. He could be the next one to challenge. And this is maybe we might see a face turn on Brian Cage, but we have to wait and see because I like I said, we don't know where these stories are developing to. So we'll find that out at all upcoming weeks to come. Now let's move on to, of course, your boys, the Young Bucks, defeating those Saito brothers, Matt and Mike Saito. Great say. I can say I'll get it off right off the bat. Great match. They're heels. I love it, but I'm not convinced still that it's too cheesy of the heels. It does bring back the Ring of Honor days and the New Japan days.
New Japan Young Bucks hiding under the ring.
Yeah, hiding under the ring type of style. It does kind of bring that, but it's just like we've seen that already.
The Forbidden Dior.
Yeah, the Forbidden Dior. And I mean, I like it by far, but it's still my heart is open. It's open, of course. I want to see where this is going to, and then seeing SCU coming out, they're challenging Young Bucks for the belt, but now we're seeing that they're not. So it doesn't make any sense. Wait a minute, if they're the number 1 contenders, why are you having them facing a fatal 4-way? That doesn't make any sense for Bloody
Guts. that shouldn't happen. It should be right to that match right away.
Yeah,
unless
they're saving it for May 12th. I mean, which it looks like they are. They're probably going to have SCU win that fatal 4-way eliminator, and then for sure on May 12th they'll go ahead and face the Young Bucks, and from there it's a split, which I didn't want to see, man. SCU, man, that's my favorite, man. SCU.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind SCU picking up the win and getting those titles. I think it might go the other way.
Why the hell
There's still
not?
a chance.
Christopher Daniel never got on the belt. It's only Scorpio and Kazarian.
Yeah, they've been like, what was it? Well, because of the Freebird rules, you know.
Well, but they didn't apply to that. They did it. I mean, we haven't seen that as of yet because it hasn't been a trio.
Rules.
It's only been two by far pairs.
Yeah, because Scorpio Sky is kind of out of the. He's now with Ethan Page, and they're doing their own thing.
Yeah,
yeah. Scorpio Sky is being a heel now, and you know they're doing the other thing. But I wouldn't mind them holding those titles a second time, and it would kind of like more firmly reestablish SCU just as like a great tag team. Because Kazarian's great solo, but you know I can't think of. Because of the baby faces, both baby faces heel singles, the whole singles division feels pretty stacked. To add Kazarian and Daniels to it would be kind of.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. You.
Yeah, I feels like even with everybody coming over from Japan and and whatnot. I mean, what Konosuke, on Elevation. I don't know if you guys talked about him or not. Yeah, Konosuke from DDT Wrestling.
Oh no, we did. We mentioned.
Yeah,
yes, we did.
He's like imagine Kota Ibushi, but with more finishers and younger. And he's almost like, I wouldn't say he's not a copy of Kota, but there's a lot of guys of that flavor. Even Kaito Kiyomiya from Pro Wrestling Noah is also kind of similar to both of them as well. There's the young, pretty, long-haired, muscular, Japanese like guy in his 20s, and Konosuke, guys like him coming into AEW kind of make it hard for guys like Kazarian Daniels to be singles.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely. But overall, this tag match was great. I love Matt Sydal. I mean, he does a great job, and just those double team that he did on the Young Bucks, man. Woo, love it. And his brother Mike too is very great. Oh, that's you guys, the Sydal brothers right there, Matt and Mike. There you have it. Somebody, Mike.
I'm Don Callis though.
Yeah, I know you're Matt Callis, but yeah, Mike Sydal. Give your thoughts about that tag match.
Namaste.
I need a brother, Matt.
Namaste.
I need my older brother.
But we're the Namaste brothers. We don't cry. We are at peace. Namaste.
I'll talk about the SCU thing right off the bat. That I feel like they kind of booked themselves in a corner here, and they said that the next time that they lose in a tag team bout, they split up. Right? I choose to believe that they didn't think this through, because me personally, I did not see them in TNA and all that or wherever they've been. So I've only been used to seeing them as a tag team. It's hard for me to see them in singles competition.
Yeah.
So there's that. So, and I really don't think they're gonna win the tag titles. I feel that the Bucks storyline is, barely beginning. All that, the heel turn just happened, all that good stuff. So there's that. The match itself was fun to watch. Say what you will about the Bucks, they're always fun to watch for me. I always enjoy their matches. I'm sure a lot of people have seen all these things before, but it's new to me. It's still real to me, damn it. So I enjoy it. I love it. It's great TV. And along with myself, I'm pretty sure there's other people that have not seen this sort of thing from the Bucks, and I'm enjoying it so far as a new viewer.
I got an idea, Mike. It could not be a lose or win. It could be, because remember in wrestling, there's three other options. There's a schmoz, there's a DQ, and there's a time limit draw. That's the kind of you don't really get too many time limit draws in WWE, but here that's kind of the way out because it's not really a loss. So I think one of the other things is they could make it a time limit draw or one of the other two conclusions and kind of drag it out and be like, and have a lot of near falls like, wow, they just barely won by the skin of their teeth and they still have that win. And then when they finally break up, everybody's heart is broken. And I think that's kind of what they might want to go. Like if I was booking it, that's kind of what I would do is kind of make people, almost like be on the edge of their seats. I don't want them to break up. I don't want them. Oh, they broke up. Like 3 matches later, like it's like this is such a a trigger warning for those, but it's kind of like somebody's dying of a disease, but they're given 2 more months to live. It's that kind of like distress that you're on. Like, please live, please live. They get another month.
So, so what you're saying is they're trying to go for the emotion itself. They're trying to get people to feel something when they actually do split up.
I think they should do that instead of just split up next week or 2 weeks later. There needs to be more, distress and more need. Just everybody just to be really sad about that split up, because I mean, we haven't seen them on TV for how many weeks?
It's been a minute. Sure.
Exactly.
Well, on TV, yeah, TNT, but you can see him on Elevation or Dark. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the direction they're going with this. If they're gonna go ahead and split them up, I'll be sad because I'm a big fan of SCU. Been going to the events when they're here about and around the area, California area.
Just don't do it so soon because it won't.
It's gonna be a tear in my eye if they fucking split it.
Well, if they do it next week, there's no tears just because nobody cares.
No, they're not doing
it too quickly.
I don't know. I don't know. I just hope not. But we'll see. We'll see. But I know you were happy, Matt Callis, that your boys won.
Oh yes, no more flaps, Dior shoes, and Versace jackets.
And of course, we saw a little Mortal Kombat little split. Right in Johnny Cage move, right? Oh man! All right, then we have Orange Cassidy, Shocker 1 defeating El Cero Miedo Pentagon Cero M. Great match, I can tell you that. This really reminds me of the Bowen Park days because they always face like that. And there's always going back and forth. Cero, miedo con su puta madre.
I think Orange Cassidy, I want to see him against more Lucha Libre, against more luchadors.
And he's very familiar with that. I mean, we know his background from Chicago.
Red Ant.
Yeah, Red Ant, exactly. He's very familiar for that. Then obviously we saw again Alex there. I'm liking it so far. I'm liking him coming out with, yes, I know that your heart is open, Mike. So I want to hear your thoughts about this match. But were you surprised that Orange Cassidy picked up the win? And where do you see this now going next after that?
I kind of expected it. I expected Cassidy to win because Penta won last week. He beat Trent. So, he won that one. I feel it's fine, right? He can recover from this. This Alex guy is total heel. He looks the part. Heel, right? Like all that. Yeah, there.
that audio listeners, I'm pushing my chin out and my nose out just to make it look kind of like
just like Alex.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I enjoyed the match. The match was entertaining. These two styles, right? These two characters, and that's what it comes down to. You have a mixture here of having great characters in the story and great wrestling along with it, right? The package here, it just in a nice bow tie. Here you go, enjoy, right? This match was. And I enjoyed it from start to finish. I'm a Penta guy. And honestly, I'm an Orange Cassidy guy too. So win-win, right? Exactly. So I'm giving the thumbs up there. So yeah, no complaints here. Awesome.
Matt Callis.
I got to say that's a really good match of styles. I got to say Orange Cassidy has a great arsenal of hard-hitting moves. And I've made this comparison before. Orange Cassidy is the Tetsuya Naito of the United States, of North America. Yes. And to see him against Lucha Libre is kind of that coming full circle. You know what? I'll say this. This is the next bit, other than Keiji Muto and Kenny Omega, or I guess Naito and Samoa Joe, or Samoa Joe and Kenny. Orange Cassidy and Tetsuya Naito is the match that I most want to see in AEW.
I
Probably
want to see
fourth or third.
Toru Yano and Orange Cassidy. That's what I want to see.
That's the comedy part of it.
But
Yeah,
so, yeah, why not?
great.
This is
They're
it'll
great.
be something
They're
that'll
pretty cool.
It'll be cool. Why not? Toru Yano. Yeah.
That will be cool. But Naito and Cassidy, that's like, they're both laid back guys. The people love them. And especially once the crowd comes back, everybody's going to be, you know, freshly squeezed tranquilo, like all in one.
Tranquilo.
Tranquilo, freshly squeezed, all in one. Lanha, you know?
Yeah. Definitely. Let's move on with the segment with the pinnacle, damn it. That's what the inner circle segment, the parlay. Did see, I guess, Sammy Guevara say, you know what? Screw it. Screw the parlay. I'll go in first. I'll take you guys on. I'll beat you guys up 2-on-1, 3-on-1, whatever. Any kind of a match it was. And then getting on Shawn Spears about his career. Man, I was waiting for him to say something about 10. Like, oh, yeah, well, you couldn't even. I was hoping for him to bash on him on his 10 gimmick, but he didn't. All he said, he just failed. That's it. Then we hear Jericho at the end, of course, you know, that you have to kill us in order to get the crown. And great promo from Jericho. I'm not going to say it was one of the best promos. No, I'm not going to be like, I'm not trying to say their names, but they were like glorifying it. Like, oh my God, one of the best promos. No, it wasn't. It was great build up. We'll see in Cinco de Mayo. We'll see how that's going to work out. So I'll go back to you,
Sangre por.
You said it earlier.
Sangre y tripas. Like they really, it's on Cinco de Mayo. They should, and there's a lot of Latino wrestlers on AEW. So, you know, in that match, they should have it at least written on one of the aprons. If you're doing it on Cinco de Mayo, that's what you got to do, you know, but, I got to say that Chris Jericho, whenever he's angry, I think that really brings out the best in him, and feeling passionate. Like the anger that he was throwing, I think anytime Jericho's angry, he could get a good promo out of him, especially if he's screaming like that, you know, I wouldn't say the best, but you know, you definitely get the best of Jericho, or like the best version of him when you get him in that state of mind. He's kind of tapping into that whole, and he was doing so, a wordsmith kind of ways with the words.
Yeah.
So the post-match promo is also going to be good, you know, once he has got the blood and bandages after. Whatever it may be, either the despair of loss or the glory of victory, you know it's going to be good because Jericho's that damn good.
Are you stealing from Triple H there?
I was just waiting for him. Like, yeah, he was.
Yeah, I definitely am.
Damn. Good.
The game.
You're gonna get that cease and desist in a bit.
Oh shit! Right.
And Sledgehammer. I mean, at least he puts heavy metal back on network television.
Yes.
I definitely agree on that part. In terms of the Sammy part of it, I feel like it was a missed opportunity in the way that he said, oh, you know, it doesn't matter if it's 1-on-1 or 2-on-1, 3-on-1. In the end, they're all going to dial 911. I feel like he's going to say that. Shout out to Chael Sonnen for that one.
Hell yeah.
I would have wanted to hear that. And I thought that was what he was going to say. But anywho, minor detail there. Overall,
if you don't know him out the match, you better call 411.
There you go. I like that. Overall, I feel like this was a masterclass in promos, and not just having one guy and one guy doing promos. This is a group and another group doing promos against each other. I feel like this was a really good example of how to do that. If any masterful praise is given, I feel like it's in that regard. Because honestly, in my humble opinion, nothing so far has beaten Chris Jericho's debut in WWF. That promo is legendary. That to me is my favorite top Jericho promo. I every once in a while I put it on YouTube. So that for me is the top one, right? So our uncle is not necessarily correct that this was the best or whatever.
No.
so there's that, and it got me hyped. It did what it needed to do. It hyped me up for sangre y tripas, right?
Tripas.
Yes, hasta las tripas ya me están moviendo por este match. Exactly.
Cinco de
translate.
Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
On Cinco de Mayo.
Oh my God.
Yes, looking forward to it.
Oh Jesus. You caught me off guard on that one. Just got me off guard on that one.
And that we're partly in Espanol. So
See,
Of course, see. I mean, of course, it's gonna be nothing.
you're in
but,
SoCal. You're in SoCal and they're in Florida.
Yes.
For Cubanos and Boricanios, Puerto Rico, you know.
Yes.
In Deutschland. Ich sprechen Sie Deutsch, ihr kleine und Blood and Guts. I don't know how to say that in German. But yes, in any language, I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. And yes, it's hot here in Southern California. That's what we're nice, refreshing drink here, ladies and gentlemen. Also to our audio platform listeners.
I
Salud.
don't know if you guys saw me wearing like 5 t-shirts and a jacket and a sweater on one of our other shows.
Yes,
So-
I don't know how, but that's Mike Callis for you. He's
Layers
cold-
on layers.
He's that cold-blooded.
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 5 fingers to the face.
That's right. And speaking of that, that's when we had Kenny, by God, Omega coming
By
out.
God.
Well, we see, prior to that, we'd see Kenny calling out Kingston. Okay, I think, was it his check that he was talking about? Is that what it was? Because I missed that part. I don't know if something about Eddie Kingston asking for a check, right? Is that what it was? What was it?
Sorry, before we move on, nobody caught this. I caught it.
Okay.
Going back to the Jericho thing, the Jericho room, I completely forgot I didn't say this. So Jericho mentioned Saudi Arabia. He mentioned the
Jake
incident
Hager.
that he said that even when we were about to get assassinated by Saudi Arabia, he had my back. So that kind of goes to show, at least this is how I'm taking it, that there was more that went on, more deadly stuff that was probably going to happen on that night. So I'll leave that there. Internet,
yeah. I know, yeah. That was before Hager left, he was there. That was 2012. I think that was like the first times that they started going to Saudi Arabia. I think it was the first one. So yeah, this is a long time ago. Yeah, okay. But I'm moving on with that. With the Kenny Omega, then I don't know what we seeing in the limo part. I don't know if it was the check part. I miscaught that, so I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. But all we know is that he sent, Michael Nakazawa versus Eddie Kingston, and then the match never happened. Kingston beating up Nakazawa. Kenny called out Brandon Cutler to come get his other goon. Moxley come out, and then we see them attacking Omega. Moxley choking him out, and of course they were gonna put him. Smash his ankle, and then Matt Callis, like, no, Eddie, I'll do anything you want. I'll do anything you want. What would you want? I want a tag match between your boy and his sidekick over there for next week. Nakazawa. I'm gonna say my part about it right now. Kenny Omega did not sell it. It was not a great sell. I'm telling you that right now. If you go back and look at that segment, it was a horrible sell. How the fuck are you gonna say? How are you gonna just lay down with a chair? You just was like, this wasn't enough sell for me that Omega was like, oh my God, like, yeah, no, it wasn't. Even the Moxley side, okay, you choked him out, he fell. It for me wasn't enough sell. I mean, I wish it could have gone more drastically selling, but it wasn't. Or a better beatdown. I don't think that was the
maybe
best beatdown for me.
Eddie just had to stay on him more, really, like
if Moxley
hold him tight.
Exactly.
Maybe have his hand on his throat or something.
Exactly. But this didn't seem that way. It was like too like, what is this? I mean, like, how could your world champion look this way? That's how I see it in my, as a fan, and why would you do this?
I kind of want the Eddie Kingston Kenny match sooner than later.
Well, that's what
we're heading towards.
Exactly, because Mike mentioned earlier we're going to see another Mox. No, it's going to be Kingston and Omega. That's going to be the one.
I'm happy for that because I love the differences between those two.
Yes,
I was actually pointing this out when we were hinting at that match. like later on down the line. And I'm kind of glad that like Kingston was like, I didn't play video games growing up. I had nothing. And and it's like, well, it's like, I'm, you know, I'm fabulous, you know, Kenny. I've got all the belts. Like, what you got, you know?
I know. I mean, but do you agree with me though, Matt? Like, I don't know. It just this didn't seem to me enough sell of what Omega and like how Omega sold it. It wasn't enough beatdown for me, in my opinion. I mean, you can go back and look at it again. Look at it closely. He wasn't even trying to like escape. It was just like, I'm right there. I don't know. That's the only thing that I was really like, what? But I mean, but that's me, and I'm digressing about how I would have done things differently if I was the writer of it. But you know, I don't know how you feel about that, Matt. You tell me.
In Kenny in the suit, he's kind of supposed to be in that kind of Ric Flair role, wearing like the nice suits and the belts and everything like that. So, you know, Eddie just had to be on him more. That's like the only thing, you know, and you know, it's a pre-segment. I kind of wish the Nakazawa Eddie Kingston match kind of would go like there would be a pin and a referee, like, and at least like it would have been kind of funny to have Nakazawa bust out the oil again. It's like, the hell is this? And then Eddie Kingston's like, the hell is this? The sesame oil all over me? Mm-hmm. What am I, a fish and chips? Like, with all this oil? Like, I ain't a Long John Silver fried platter, like, covered in all this oil. I'm not a fried Oreo cookie. I ain't a deep fried Twinkie trying to cover me in oil, Nakazawa.
Matt, oh my gosh, you're making me hungry right now, dude. Jeez Louise.
Hey, what do you think oil is used?
I'll tell you what.
What do you think that oil is used for? He's trying to deep fry Eddie Kingston. So you're hungry for Eddie Kingston deep fried?
I'm more of a Nakazawa guy when it comes
deep
to
fried,
that.
Deep fried Nakazawa. You know, that's what they'll be sharing at the AEW carnival. Will be deep fried Eddie Kingston's and Nakazawa's waffles or some kind of fritters.
But yeah, Money Mike.
So I've said before, and I guess it's a hot take, that Omega has not convinced me as being Thanos, right? I don't know. When I think Thanos, I think someone like Karrion Kross, you know, menacing and tough, and you know, like you wouldn't want that guy, you know, in a fight in a bar. Omega seems almost comical to me. I mean, I'm not talking about in-ring skill. The guy can bring it like nobody else can.
Personality,
but personality-wise, on the microphone. I don't know if I'm the only one that thinks this, but he almost seems kind of comical, and just lying there did not help. And
I gotta say, Mike. It's probably closer to like Chris Jericho when he was undisputed champion, because that wasn't really menacing either. You know, it's more just arrogant. That's kind of what he's going for. Maybe.
Okay, I could see that. I could. If you put it in that way, I could see that. But then again, that title reign was not the best title reign either. Anyway, I'll say this, that I honestly feel like it was a missed opportunity here. I don't know how Rich Swann and AEW, how they're working things out, or if he could go to Dynamite. I honestly feel that in order to move forward the story of Impact and AEW, Omega needed to have a celebration right off the bat. I know he had one on the latest Impact episode, right? But I honestly feel like it should have happened the first thing we see. First thing, right away, celebration. If not, the celebration that's too big for one night, both Wednesday and Thursday. Heel, that's the total heel thing to do. You know, bigger, you know, you celebrate yourself for 2 nights straight. Total heel move. I feel like that should have happened, and I feel that Rich Swann should have shown up on Dynamite, and him and Moxley beat the crap out of, or whatever, Omega, and go on from there and make tag matches off of that. So that's my booking, and that's how I would have done it. And that's all I got to say about that.
That's right. I was just more like I just didn't get the segment part. That's why I was just like, it looked too cheesy to me. That's all how I felt about it. That's bad for your world champion. I mean, that's how I see it. I think it could have been better delivery, especially. But we'll see next week. Now they're gonna have that tag match, and we'll see how that's gonna deliver on Blood and Guts. Now let's move on with Chris Statlander versus Penelope Ford. Good match on both sides, and I'm glad these two women are getting the TV time they're deserving to get. As we've been noticing as of late, that a lot of the women matches in AEW has been given more than 5 minutes. It's been at least 10-minute match or 11 minutes by far, which I'm happy for them. They're getting that TV time that they deserve, because right now you do need that in AEW to develop your women in AEW, especially the roster that, not compared to NXT, but you need to get to that par of where they're at as with the NXT women's roster. So yes, Statlander will pick up the win. Not the greatest win for me. I was just like, it was a little bit botches there, but it was okay. Other than that, it was a decent match. It was okay. So I'll take it back to you, Money Mike. Your thoughts about that match, and now that this story is over between them, because the storyline should be over by them. She came back, and that's it. Now, what's next for Statlander, and what's next for Penelope Ford?
Let's see. That's kind of a tough one, to be honest. My mind goes right to the title picture when it comes to the women's division there, and I would like to see more long-term storylines between the women there. When Chris Statlander came back, she came out of the arcade thing, right, and pushed the glass and attacked Penelope Ford. I honestly don't remember how they clashed to begin with. I don't remember where that started. So I feel that was kind of because of a lack of storyline leading up to that return, right? So I would like to see more going on in between the women, more, as for who's next, Statlander could go against, let's say, Nyla Rose. What's she been doing lately, right? I feel like that could be something that happens. Penelope Ford could go against Thunder Rosa, mix it up, change your partners, all that good stuff. So there you go.
Yeah. Do you agree with that, Matt Callis?
And we still got the girls from Japan. We got Ryo Mizunami still there, dropping those guillotine leg drops. We got a lot of people in the mix, and more female talent to mix up in that combat.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they should do, at this point, I wouldn't mind seeing another tournament, something different. It's hard because it's to get these women involved in how Mike said, it's just where to put them. Where are you going to put them at to feud with? It's tough because we don't. I don't know. It's just really tough. And then with Jade, I don't know either what's next for her. Okay, done with Red Velvet, unless she's going after the next Nightmare Factory member. I mean, she's not official, but Kylie Clean. My apologies, can't pronounce her name, but she could be the next one to feud with Jade Cargill or have Statlander Cargill, something different, something fresh. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. The same with Nyla Rose. We don't know what else is going on. I mean, they're not building any stories as of yet. So I'm hoping that after Blood and Guts, they find something for them to develop a story for all of the women in the roster. That's how I feel. I mean, I'm hoping that happens, and then we're able to see what's the plot they're gonna happen, and hopefully we can enjoy it. I'm hoping. So
I gotta say, I've recently gotten more into Rebel or Reba.
Reba,
Yeah.
not Rebel. Reba,
not Rebel.
or Rebel, not Reba.
I watch some of her old matches, and she's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
and I wouldn't mind seeing more of her in action, because she had that broken leg angle and everything. But I'd definitely love to see more of her in singles action, because I saw how she worked in TNA, and she's really cool in the ring. I think she's an ex-cheerleader, so she has that whole athletic abilities, acrobatics, and all that. So.
I would very much like to see that as well.
There you go. Then we have the Factory defeating the Nightmare Factory. And then after the aftermath, the brawl takes out. And then we see, obviously, QT running away from the brawl, going to the express bus. First of all, they showed up in express bus, which I forgot to mention. The Nightmare Express bus, they showed up. Then the aftermath when QT went back, then Cody came out of nowhere, beating up QT, taking him on top of the rooftop of the express bus, giving him the figure 4, which I don't know why the ref Osprey was up there anyways. Cody going up there wasn't a match, but I get it. You were trying to stop it. It looks like, yeah, they announced next week for Blood and Guts, Cinco de Mayo, Cody versus QT. Last week's episode was the most hilarious because the fact that Mike literally just said, my heart is closed for this segment is closed. It looks like I'm heading to that direction. I'm hoping they close that next week and move on because this is, not a fan. Sorry. I'm not a fan at all. So, I mean, I'll go to you, Money Mike. Do you agree? Is your heart fully closed now?
You know what? My heart is closed 99.999 3/4.5%. And I don't know. I just can't get into QT Marshall. I don't know. Whether it's his look or something or whatever, I just can't get into the storylines that he's in. He seems like just filler to me. Hopefully that changes, and hopefully he's able to, open up el corazón.
Open the corazón up. Open that heart.
Yeah.
That lock heart, man. Open it up.
Yeah. So it just, I don't know. The whole build up to this has been lackluster to me. And the brawl didn't make me feel anything, right? So, it's whatever's. They'll have the match Blood and Guts, and hopefully they're able to see that this is not really hitting, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels this way, in America. So, hopefully they do something else.
Yeah, Matt Callis, do you agree with that?
It's the factory, of course, Cody seems like the natural enemy, and hopefully they finish it off soon. But it seems really soon for them to just do away with the factory, because it's not like, what was it? What was the other? It was like the Nightmare Collective that they just 86'd right away.
Oh my God, yeah, that's right. When it was Brandy and then Nyla Rose. And then wasn't Nyla, right? Or no, Awesome Kong, or
it was Awesome Kong, Brandy, and some girl who shaved her head.
Oh yeah, that's right. Was that Serena Deeb?
No, it was somebody else.
No, Serena Deeb was the other one. My bad for a CM Punk one. I forgot.
It was somebody that shaved their head, though.
Yeah.
So it was somebody that shaved their head, and it seems like they've built up all the guys in the factory too much to just completely 86 it, because like a lot of the guys in the group are pretty cool. Anthony Ogogo, I want to see more of him. Just because we've got a boxer. Like anytime they bring a shoot guy into the formula, it's interesting. I wouldn't mind him just running roughshod, or maybe maybe switching off from maybe QT to Ogogo, because Ogogo is definitely stronger than QT or like as a shoot, or Cody. So maybe he knocks out Cody, and maybe Cody beats QT, but Ogogo, beats Cody. And maybe I wouldn't mind Ogogo taking over, because he's like the strongest shoot guy in that group, I gotta say.
Yeah.
And he's a good talker, because he's commentary on AEW Dark. Yeah. So he's a good trash talker. He's got the British accent, so you get a little bit of that Cagney. And I think he'll appeal to the British fans, like, bloody hell, I'll whoop your ass, mate. that whole thing.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. I'm hoping that Cody beats QT, and QT was like, send Ogogo, like, you're my protege. Now get him, and Ogogo takes out Cody. So yeah, that could be maybe the direction they're heading to, because Cody go bye, and then he's gonna be a father pretty soon. And then I don't know what's the direction gonna go with the Nightmare Factory. They're gonna put someone else in, like Cody's replacement, or I don't know.
Yeah, I like a Go-Go better as the leader.
Yeah, I think what is this kind of a fuck, man? I don't know this. I can't. Hell no, I'm not gonna compare it to what I was gonna say. Never mind. I'll bite my tongue for that. I'm not gonna say it because I'll be giving shit if I say it right now. But I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind a Gogo being that secret weapon and him taking out Cody. Cody takes out QT, and then QT sends Gogo. Gogo takes out Cody. Then Cody comes back, gets his revenge, take out the whole factory, and then that's it. That could be what's they might go down the line and have them dominate Elevation and Dark. Sorry to say it that way. I know. I'm just not. My heart is like Mike's right now. That is like a lock heart right now, just kind of closing. Like I just can't.
Closed heart.
Yeah, closed heart.
Closed heart surgery. Right here.
And speaking of closed heart, it's already this heart is closed completely. We saw Miro beating the shit out of Kip Sabian on backstage. So that chapter is over, which we've been stating for the last previous episode on our archives. That's right, Mike. So yep, it's closed and now reopened.
It's more than reopening. That's freaking going.
It's unleashed.
Unleashed, man.
That's right. And Miro, beating the shit out of Kip Sabian, and that's it. Good talk. But Kip, here's another one that I am not impressed with the selling. If you look at that, how Kip sell his arm, he didn't go, he was just like, instead of just, going crazy. Like, what about it was broken?
How should she have gone?
There you go. Just like, like, roll around saying, "Oh my God, you fractured my arm." None of that. He was just looking at it like, not even like, not a real sale. Right. It wasn't for me. I mean, that's the only thing I would digress about Kip Sabian. But I'm happy that Miro is done with Kip Sabian. But the biggest cue is who is next. Not Goldberg. No pun intended. Not Goldberg. I hope not.
Comes in there on a wheelchair. Like,
oh my God, no.
He is a friend of Tony Khan's, so
I know. Yeah, I know, right? Knock on wood.
Wait,
Knock
what?
on wood.
Yeah.
He actually knows. So Tony Khan actually knows Goldberg?
Yeah, they're good friends.
They're good friends. So yeah, go ahead, Money Mike.
Okay, I'm gonna wish away that right there. shoot. Goodness gracious, no. And honestly, Goldberg, no offense or anything, but it's time. It's 2021 now, not 1996.
Wheelchair match.
Spirits with the
pair
wheelchair.
Pair of wheels.
Pair of wheels.
Let's see. What we're talking about?
Miro.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, Miro. My goodness, it's about freaking time. Yes. Hopefully Kip is able to game right with his arm still, but that's beside the point. This is what we need. We need the brute, right? The Bulgarian brute to come back and then start wrecking people and destroying things and coming out in tanks. Tony Khan, make it happen. Bring the tank back, because that's what I really like from his entrance in WrestleMania. Yes, man. Who? Right? Who's next? Who is he gonna go after? He did warn people with titles, and I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be Hikaru Shida he's going after. So who's it going to be? Is it Darby or is it Kenny Omega? Odds are it's going to be Darby Allin. And I feel like at some point after a title defense, he's just going to come out and just wail on him and declare his challenge. But what I'm kind of thinking about right now is that it's kind of overcrowded in that Darby TNT title picture. We've got Sting in there, obviously helping him out. We've got Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page attacking him. We've got everybody, popping up during his segments or during his matches nowadays. That Lance Archer, So it could go any different ways. And where would Miro fit in all of that going on, right? Hopefully, I'll say this: if we get Miro and Darby, Miro has to win. He has to. There is no way that Darby can win that, because all of this that we've been looking forward to for Miro to come to AEW, to be different from what he was in WWE, will be for nothing if he loses that title shot, in my opinion. He has to win it. He has to raise that gold, and especially right now, declaring that that's what he wants.
He wants that brass ring, damn it.
He wants it. He's got to get that title. There you go.
Mr. Callis, do you agree with that?
Yeah, it seems about right. It would legitimize, because Miro's a great single star, and he needs something to like legitimize. And I want to see all those cool martial arts moves that he does, rather than just like some blonde guy complaining about everything. You know, some blonde guy complaining about the Orange Cassidy. I think him and Darby would be a cool rivalry, especially the martial arts and whatnot. And maybe it would be cool if Darby learns a little bit of martial arts himself. They could learn it from each other and do some kick exchange spots or something. Because I like see like that. Here's something to keep in mind in both wrestling and martial arts, that Jet Li is a small guy and he's a one-man wrecking machine, as shown in movies. So when you give a smaller guy all these great martial arts skills, they gain the ability to take down big guys. So if you're listening, Tony Khan, if you're listening, Darby Allin, I got to get out that phone again. Maybe not a martial arts gimmick, but I mean, it would be cool to add those moves to your arsenal, rather than just kind of like, those have like a cool spinning back kick that Darby can do. Because, you don't have to be big to do a spinning back kick. You got to be big to do power bombs and suplexes. But, that'll be cool to add to the arsenal, stuff like that.
Okay. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what Miro does with that brass ring if he gets it. But I would like to see him in Archer. That'd be something. That'll be a hell of a fucking slop. That'll be a slobber knocker right there. That's for sure.
Slobber knocker.
Next level consciousness.
Exactly. Next level consciousness. And let's go with the main event of the evening for AEW, the TNT World Championship on the line, as Darby Allin retains, defeating, Vance Prince, number 10, the Dark Order for sure. Good match. Again, I'm gonna keep on saying it until he loses the title. Like I said, I'm my apologies to the fans of the Darby Allins, and I'm a Darby Allin fan too. But by far, the only change that I've been seeing back to back, as of recent yet, he's getting a little aggressive now. He's now becoming not of your typical baby face, not going for. He's becoming that aggressive, aggressive opponent, like messing with messing with the eyes, breaking the eyes or something. He did it to Jungle Boy last week, and then he did it now to number 10. So I like that aggressive, that ruthless aggression that he's taking out little by little. But I need more of that. I need him to do it more.
Let's build this arsenal.
He needs to build it. Yeah, exactly. How you mentioned earlier, to build that arsenal. Absolutely, he should focus on that. I don't mind him going heel either. Imagine him and his Sting go heel. Fuck it, I don't care. I love that.
Small guy heels are pretty interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely 100% with you on that. I would not be mad about that at all.
If he's a heel, he has a way to beat Miro. He could bring brass knuckles. He could bring, like Sting could throw him brass knuckles. Sting could, give him a fireball. He could hit him backstage with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Then we see the aftermath of the match. We did see Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky got involved, beating Sting and Darby. We see Lance coming out, making the save along with 10. I mean, I don't know what Ethan and Scorpio is involved into this. I don't know where they're going with this, but I have my hunch, and I'm going to say it right now before I forget. So I'm saying here first. One thing can happen. It's going to end up being a triple threat match. Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, Darby for the TNT. It's going to happen. That could be a possibility. It might go to that route because if they're trying to they both want that brass ring belt. Eventually, they're gonna have to fight each other. Like I'm supposed to win it. Then give me a reason why they're targeting Darby in the first place. Now, it doesn't, you correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, it could happen, yes, but the vibe that I'm getting is that Ethan Page is helping Scorpio Sky. He seems more like I don't want to say sidekick, but he's helping his friend out because his friend has beef with Darby Allin.
Okay.
That's the way I see it.
It could be. I don't know. It won't make no sense. You're barely coming in, and you're barely coming in. Of course, you want to get one of the title shots. Why would you want to help another person? I don't know. That's kind of like...
Or it maybe might be like an agreement where, first we take him down, and then I'll face you as, I'll get first dibs.
Yeah, it could be that, or they play the Freebird rule and this. We could be co-champions type of thing. I mean, but it doesn't make any sense for them to do that. I don't know. I don't know where they're going with this. And then when Lance, we've been saying it for quite some time already that Lance eventually, I think he's going to be the one that's going to go heel and challenge Darby and win that TNT. But I think he will have to beat these two individuals first. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky in order to get to Darby Allin. I don't know. I don't know where it's going with this. So, I mean, go ahead, Matt Callis. You tell me thoughts about the match and where they're going with this storyline.
It was, especially with Dark Order, they're keeping them in the picture and they're building up the undercard. It would be kind of cool to see 10 go under a metamorphosis. And that was the word I was looking for earlier. The full metamorphosis into Don Callis. No, but it's just seeing him completely transform from just being, completely transform into just being 10 into his own individual person. We get to see, it will be cool seeing people like later on down the line go like break off from the Dark Order and kind of become their own people, either as faces or heels, kind of like when you see factions. I think that's the one good thing about factions is that they help like give birth to new people or help create new people as like great single stars down the line. Kind of that's the whole reason why, like when they trade factions or join another faction, they could become a star. We see it in New Japan, and we're seeing it here. It's great for people to be aligned with a group. I'd say, in my opinion, you only get pluses from factions. Otherwise, people are just lone jobbers, and that's kind of.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you. It just, I don't know. It just. Go ahead, Mike. Take it away. You're mute.
See that's how affected I am by all this. I don't think this has any next level consciousness, if you ask me. It's like I mentioned earlier, the whole thing seems a bit jumbled up. There's so many moving pieces.
Yeah,
it's starting to become too many, right? And which is why the whole Miro thing, right? Let's be careful with putting someone like that in there right now. So much going on. I don't like that Darby is defending the title every week.
Wait a minute. Why not? He's supposed to be the TNT. He's the face of the network. He has to.
Okay, you say that, but that's not a... If he was a heel, would he be defending it all the time? No. So it's not part of the title per se to have to defend it every week. It says TNT on there, yes, sure, but he is not obligated to do that every week.
Agreed on that. Okay.
So I don't think that comes with that. I don't like it because it's kind of exposing how Darby matches work, or how Darby title matches work, in that there's a formula and we can kind of tell how it's going to go. And, unfortunately, I feel like, I don't know, it's in week 5 now, it's kind of losing its luster. So I want there to be title shots spaced out. And I'm kind of glad that for Blood and Guts, he's not going to have a title match that we know of yet.
No, we don't know yet. They might announce it.
So far, there's only been one heel TNT champion, and that was Brodie Lee. And
Right.
what was it? That was just 3 weeks, right? And he didn't defend it. He defended it like 3 or 4 times. Was it every single week with Brodie as well when he was a heel?
No, it wasn't every week. Every other week, I think it was. But I think I recall, or every other 2 weeks.
I guess take a week off.
Yeah, I would like for it to be spaced out, like you guys say, like a couple weeks, or like every other week and stuff like that. Not every single week. I know that they're trusting him to carry the show, by being in the main event. And what pressure must that be, to deliver on that sort of thing. But it's tricky. Like I said, we don't really know who the top contender is. If I were to ask you guys, who's Darby feuding with, actually, we don't really know the singular person. Scorpio Sky could be argued, right? Lance Archer, that storyline still has a ways to go.
Yeah, the match hasn't happened, and they're still teasing it.
They're still teasing it, right? Or whatever it is that him and Sting are gonna have happen.
Mike. This brings me again to another. If I was the booker, what I would do. So I guess Darby would drop it to somebody. I haven't decided on who yet, but he would drop the TNT title to somebody, and we could see that weekly defense and kind of like their style throughout the weeks. Or bi-weekly defense if we want to give them time off, because sometimes the AEW championship needs to be gets defended on the show, or
yes.
Or we could have a guest title being defended, like we're seeing with Yuji Nagata and Moxley on the 12th. But
great examples there. Yes.
Yeah.
And while you're at it, take it away with that. Let the viewers and our audio listeners that you're excited for this May 12th event coming up, and let them know.
So I'll continue real quickly with what I would do. I would actually put the X Division title on Darby Allin. He really seems fitting to that title with his style of wrestling, how he wrestles, and the X Division competitors he's up against. He would have really unique and interesting matches with all of them. TJP versus Darby Allin. I think that's really cool.
Ace Austin and
Darby Allin. Suicide and Darby Allin. Manic and Darby Allin. Like, the list goes on, and Darby Allin in an Ultimate X match, him climbing the ropes. Like, he seems like built like him, especially he knows how to climb wires and he's a daredevil. He's kind of made for that Ultimate X match, and I want to see him in something like that. Yes, now, upcoming, like, I was originally going to thinking this was going to happen with Kenta. We're thinking, we're not going to see a New Japan title defended on AEW television. We saw the title on AEW, but we haven't seen it defended. I really thought, so they did have that match, but they had it on New Japan Strong. We did see Kenta on Dynamite. He was the #1 contender for the title. He lost the match, sadly. This is in the future. Sorry, spoilers if you're watching ahead of time, but you should watch the weekly show, and do go back in the archives and watch Kenta versus Moxley. But Yuji Nagata versus Moxley, and let me tell you, Yuji Nagata is no slouch. He's a legend, 2-time IWGP heavyweight champion, and 1-time GHC Pro Wrestling Noah champion. He faced Marufuji, he faced Morishima, he faced he's faced Tanahashi, he's faced all the top guys in New Japan. He's a legend. He's faced Kurt Angle, way back when.
Mm-hmm. There you go. He's pointing at Kurt Angle right behind him.
Yeah. And I got a surprise for you, Mike. There is a Yuji Nagata action figure, and it was the only one. It was the only New Japan action figure I saw at Frank & Sons Collectibles. So that would go well, sitting right next to your Kurt Angle. Both of them have an amateur wrestling background, and he's a damn good striker and kicker as well. He did a little bit of MMA too during the Inokiism era, So Yuji Nagata, where he's a hard hitter. He's an ass kicker. A former, when you're a never open weight champion, that means you whoop ass. You're hard as nails. That's known as the ass kicker's belt.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna see him. That match with him and Moxley is gonna be a damn good match. We're seeing on the 12th of May.
I just hope Kenny does not get involved, or none of the damn fucking Good Brothers. Let this be a solid match for once. No involvement, no fucking run-ins. Let this be a one-on-one, and let either Moxley lose legitly or win legitly.
I wouldn't mind one from a New Japan faction, not an AEW faction, but somebody like something purely New Japan. Okay. You know, if they come in, that'd be a nice treat for everybody. Coming, you know, a little bit more New Japan than you thought you were getting. Not just Yuji Nagata. You know, he was also in the Crockett Cup too.
Yes.
He tagged with Satoshi Kojima in the Crockett Cup. So he's definitely no stranger to competing on U.S. soil. So Yuji Nagata, everybody, keep your eyes peeled for that match because it's going to be damn good. And I wouldn't mind Yuji Nagata taking that title off of Moxley. That title needs some more Japanese prestige put on it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And now, go ahead.
Oh, no, I just want to say that it's a good thing that Moxley beat Kenta in this case because it keeps it on AEW, or, you know, for what it is. You know, it's just a one match thing.
Bringing Japanese.
Yeah. It's I like that. We're gonna start doing that more often.
Yeah. Come here, you.
Coming in
get
from
over
CMLL,
again.
CMLL, AAA, New Japan. Like, this is us pulling those wrestlers overseas to here.
Well, we'll get it to Pro Wrestling News after that. But go ahead.
No, yeah, I like that that's happening because I feel that it'll open the forbidden door, you know,
forbidden
even
door.
More. Yes, more so, and New Japan will remember these sort of things because they didn't have to have Kenta in the match to promote the upcoming event that they were going to have, but they did it. They are not supposed to have this match, right? But they're having it. So I hope New Japan is able to remember these sort of things and be like, well, you know what? They opened their doors to us. Let's have some American guys, when things open up, of course, hop on over and wrestle in the Tokyo Dome or with us and our stars, and more collaborations go on. So I think it's great, you know, and ultimately the fans win, right?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't mind seeing more New Japan belts being defended in AEW and vice versa, AEW belts being defended in New Japan, since I think this match is showing they really are working together. It's not just, you know, Kenta coming through the door. Now that they're actually defending a New Japan belt on on AEW programming, not just on Strong. This really means it's happening. I mean, it's one thing to see the belt, but it's another thing for them to actually defend the belt. You know, I think it's just like how Tanahashi won the Rev Pro belt off of Zack Sabre Jr. in a New Japan ring. Rev Pro is a completely different promotion from New Japan. That's a British promotion that Will Ospreay is still the champion of.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, let's jump on the last topic of the night before we move to part 2. It's not Pro Wrestling News. We're going to jump into New Japan very briefly. So New Japan, of course. They canceled 3-day event, May 8th, May 10th, 11th, due to the state of emergency because I guess they're COVID-19. They're having spikes once again, so they had to cancel those 2 events, which is only for Road to Grand Slam, to Wrestle Grand Slam. Hoping that, because remind you, they have that 3 major ones outdoor stadiums. So I don't know. I'm hoping that by then the spikes nears below, because that's a big risk for New Japan to lose. But I don't think it's going to hurt them very much, to be honest. Also, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend coming up, actually next week, which is, of course, is Wrestling Dontaku. That is right. It's happening next week. That's a Monday and a Tuesday. On a Monday and a Tuesday. Monday, that's right, May 3rd and May 4th, which will be next week. We will be discussing about it. I can bring it up And of course, on the May 3rd event, you have Tanahashi defending the Neverweight Open title versus Jay White. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing that. And also, we are seeing Desperado defending his junior IWGP Heavyweight Champion against Yo, who they just recently regained the tag team titles again from Kanemaru and Desperado just recently. Which I thought it was going to be a split, but it wasn't. And of course, on the May 4th, we have the main event that everybody's intrigued to see, and that is Will Ospreay defending the IWGP World Heavyweight title versus Shingo Takagi. So I know everybody's looking forward to that, and I'm pretty sure Matt Callis is looking forward to that. Are you excited?
Shingo Takagi, that's another ass kicker. Like I said, that never open weight title creates ass kickers as well.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward. And then do you feel that Jay White might win the title from Tanahashi?
I think Jay White deserves it, especially at this rate, because the whole idea is to bring up new talent. Like they know, I'll reference a good friend of ours, Danny Limelight, mi gente. Like when we brought up Clark Connors, he said Clark Connors is like his favorite, and he thinks the best out of the current class of young lions. But when I brought up Jay White, he said, "Ooh, Jay White's a whole other animal."
Oh yeah,
the way he refers to him, so he knows like Jay White from the inside out. He would elevate that title, and who knows? Let's see the never open weight title defended on AEW television.
Absolutely. And then also speaking of New Japan LA Dojo, of course, they're having their showcase tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you tune in as the showcases of the Young Lions and Shibata. It's about to have an opening soon to whoever wants to enroll to join New Japan LA Dojo. Man,
prepare your necks. If you think you have a really strong neck, then by all means train at the LA Dojo.
So you're telling me that I could sign up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You think, Mike? You think you got your necks ready?
Shibata is, man.
Are you ready for him to slap your chest 100 times every day?
Good. I mean, bro.
Twice on Sunday.
4 times on a Monday.
Yeah, you're not. I'll let and letting you know you're never too old because DDP didn't debut until he was what 40, 41.
Yeah. About so. Yeah,
I'm a spring chicken compared to that.
Yeah. So if you feel you could take the punishment, then by all means, the door's open for you.
Exactly, and of course that remind you that a Tonight Show on New Japan.
We'll practice Japanese together.
Yeah. There you go.
If you're serious about this, Mike, I'll practice Japanese with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to train there. I'm gonna get my ass whooped.
Me neither. Hell no. I'd rather be with Kevin Kelly to fucking be commentator.
Yeah, we're commentators. But if you wanna, because Minoru Suzuki also comes down there and chops you too.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's right,
and that's part of the training.
I'm sure that's cool. Does better than Bellflower. So I'm down.
Oh wait, yeah, it's way better than that. Way better. But this training is you gotta live with them. That's one thing.
You live, you eat with them.
Yeah, you can't go back home. You're gonna live with them actually.
You train from morning to sunset.
Yes, that's right.
Hey, let's ask Chris if he wants to do it.
Yes, and
you guys will both be young lions.
Yes. Speaking of that, that's the Young Lions show we're gonna have tonight on NJPW.com. Make sure you subscribe. You're gonna have the DKC versus TJP, and of course you're gonna have Ren Narita and Fred Roser teaming up against Kevin Knight and Alex Coughlin, 2 other Young Lions. And, of course, the main event, 2 of the greatest they're going to be graduates of Young Lions, and that is Carl Fredericks and Clark Connors one-on-one. So make sure you tune in tonight, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern on NewJapanWorld.com. So make sure you tune in for that for New Japan. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is the ending of Part 1. Part 2, we'll be discussing pro wrestling news and updates that I just got recently, but you got to watch Part 2 to find out those updates. So don't go anywhere. Just don't change the channel either. So be right back after these messages from Wrestling Tools.